Analysis from Laurence Kotlikoff, who's a professor of economics at Boston University. Welcome to you, Laurence. I say try and make sense of it. Let's start with this, because they're reciprocal tariffs, so they're tariffs that were already in place on the US. Donald Trump says he's just equalizing things to some extent. Is that not a fair thing to do?
Well, I think that, you can measure tariffs in different ways. There's trade barriers that you can invent. I don't believe that Japan has 24%. I don't think that the numbers coming out of the White House about the tariffs that are being imposed on us are accurate. The numbers I've seen have been far lower, and to be hitting China with a 34% tariff, Japan with I think 25% tariff. I guess it's 24% tariff on Japan, 20% on the EU. This is going to be massively disruptive. This is shooting the U.S. in its head, and we're just not a manufacturing country anymore. We have 7% of our workforce in manufacturing. It was 30% in 1950. It was 8% when Trump took off, 8.5%, and fell during Trump's time in office based on his first tariffs. It declined. It's going to continue. This is not going to fix our trade deficit.
Laurence, you say US isn't a manufacturing country. Isn't that why Donald Trump's doing it, though? He wants the US to once again be a manufacturing nation.
We're never going to be able to outcompete low-wage countries like China and their efficiency. It's just, high-tech level manufacturing is one thing, but to think that we can make a leaf blower for $75 that you can buy from China on Amazon and be here in 10 minutes, it's not going to happen. It would cost probably 10 times that much in the U.S. It's just, or it will be produced in the U.S. by robots, not by people. So the whole concept here that we're going to dramatically go, from 7% back to 30% in manufacturing just makes no economic sense.
Will anybody in the US benefit? Will US companies benefit? Will the US public benefit in any way?
There are going to be certain companies that are, for example, steel producers in the US will benefit from a 25% steel tariff that he has imposed. If you think about wine producers in California, they're selling mostly in the US. They'll benefit from not having to compete as much with French wines and Italian wines and Argentine wines. So there will be beneficiaries here in the U.S., but the general public is going to pay this in the form of higher taxes, higher prices at the store, at the pump. Construction prices will go up, prices for lumber. We're going to see an all-out trade war. We haven't, this is just the beginning, because the Europeans and the Japanese and the Chinese are going to retaliate. Everything's going to be much more expensive. We are likely to have a full-blown recession as a result of this. In addition to kicking out of our country lots of productive workers through these deportations that Trump has begun.
I'm just wondering, do we at this point even understand what the ultimate effect's going to be of all these tariffs? Has there been anything like this before in history?
Well, there was tariffs in the 30s during the Great Depression, the Smoot-Hawley tariffs, and that just led to a decline in world trade and just made the Great Depression worse. And both, just imagine that you were not able to buy anything that wasn't produced in your particular block. Okay, that's the extreme. You'd have to make your own food. You have to make your own clothing. You have to produce, you'd have to produce your own cars. That's the lunacy of this type of policy and I think this goes far beyond reciprocity. I think this is manufacturing a trade war that's not justified. This is only going to hurt the U.S., and the rest of the world is going to suffer as well. But the U.S. will, I think, suffer more in the end. I think you're going to see a realignment. I think Japan is going to get closer to China in terms of trade. South America trades much more heavily with China. They will start trading with China more intensively. China could easily say to Europe, you want to trade with us or do you want to trade with the U.S.? Choose. In which case, Europe will choose China, is my guess. So this could isolate the U.S. entirely. This is the actions of somebody who is trying to, I think, damage our country quite substantially. This is not the actions of a U.S. president.
Laurence, great to get your insights on this. Appreciate it. Laurence Kotlikoff is Professor of Economics at Boston University. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Yeah.